This video could be the turning point of your English literature revision. Hello everyone, welcome to Megha Discourse. In this session, we are completing the final and the most important part of our chronology revision from 2001 to 2025. And this is the last video of our chronology series. It brings together the remaining years you must revise before the exam. As we know that English literature has an extensive and challenging syllabus with countless authors and texts, and it is impossible to predict exactly what will appear in the examination. That is why smart revision and clear chronology matters more than ever. So, we are now in the final phase of preparation where focus, consistency and revision can make all the differences. So, stay connected and revise along with me, and let us complete the final chapter of this chronology with confidence. And yes, in the next video we will cover the last 3 years of our paper, in which we will do the important books, authors and the years. Okay, so let's begin our lecture. Now in 2001, V.S. Naipaul, he got Nobel Prize for his sharp exploration of post-colonial identity and displacement and exile. So his work often reflect fractured societies and personal alienation. Then we have Half a Life by V.S. Naipaul. This is his semi-autobiographical novel, follows Willie Chandra. He is a man struggling with identity across India, Africa and England. It deals with rootlessness, colonial hangover and incomplete lives. In the same year, we have True History of Kelly Gang, the important book by Peter Carey. It is a fictionalized autobiography of Ned Kelly. He was the famous Australian outlaw. It was written with raw and oral style, and it questions history, heroism and rebellion. And it got Man Booker Prize in 2001. The next we have The Idea of Perfection by Kate Granville. This is a subtle novel about emotional healing and personal growth in a small Australian town. It focuses on human relationship and inner transformation. In the next, we have Atonement by Ike McWan. This is a powerful novel about guilt, memory, and moral responsibility. And the story revolves around Bruno Tellez, whose childhood life destroys two lives. Okay, so it is famous for its unreliable narration and metafiction ending. Under the Banyan Tree by R.K. Narayan. It is actually a short story collection. As we know, they can also give the questions from short story or memoir or autobiography. Okay, so you have to focus on that. This is a short story collection rooted in Indian village life, highlighting simplicity, moral values and gentle humor. And we have Life of Pi by Yen Martel. It is a survival story of Pi Patel. As you know, there is a movie as well. And stranded on a lifeboat with a tiger which named Richard Parker. And it explores faith, storytelling and reality versus imagination. And it got Booker Prize in 2001. Now in 2002, we have Family Matters by Rohinton Mistry. It set in Mumbai, and the novel portrays a Parsi family dealing with aging, illness and social decay. And in this work, Rohinton Mistry explores the idea of family responsibility and middle class struggle. It was shortlisted for Man Booker Prize, but it didn't get. Then we have The Goat or Who is Sylvia by Edward Albee. It is a controversial play addressing taboo, identity and moral hypocrisy. Okay, so in this work he challenges societal norms through shocking dramatic situations. Now in 2003, first we have Purple Hibiscus by Chimamanda Ngozi. It is a coming of age novel about Kambili, growing up under an abusively fanatical father in Nigeria. She has explored the themes such as freedom, silence, political unrest in this work. Then we have Oryx and Crake by Margaret Atwood. It is a dystopian novel exploring genetic engineering, climate disaster and corporate control. Okay, so you will get the warns against unethical scientific ambition in this work. Then we have Elizabeth Costello, written by J.M. Coetzee. It is, as you know, that J.M. Coetzee is Nobel laureate, and he presents philosophical lecture through the fictional writer Elizabeth Costello. This novel debates on ethics, animal rights and art. Then we have The Namesake by Jhumpa Lahiri. Jhumpa Lahiri is famous, as you know, and this novel traces the life of Gugul Ganguly, okay, and it explores immigration, identity and generational conflict. Then we have The Perishable Empire by Meenakshi Mukherjee, and it got Sahitya Academy Award. It is a critical work examining Indian English literature, its evolution and cultural challenges. Now, in 2004, we have Runway by Alice Munro. It is a short story collection focuses on women's inner life. You should know that Alice Munro is the master of short fiction. In the same year, we have The Hungry Tide by Amitav Ghosh. It set in Sundarban. The novel deals with ecology, displacement, and human-animal conflict. Okay, so you will get Pia, Fakir, Kanai, this type of things in this book. In 2005, Harold Pinter got Nobel Prize for the contribution to modern drama, just like Silences, Menace, and Political Undertone. And in the same year, we have The Algebra of Infinite Justice by Arundhati Roy. It is a political essay collection criticizing globalization, war, and state violence. And Roy, she is the prominent activist writer. Okay, and I think it got Sahitya Academy Award. You should check it once. Okay, now in 2006, first we have Sacred Games by Vikram Chandra. It is a crime epic set in Mumbai, and it features Inspector Sartaj Singh, the important character, and gangster Ganesh Gaitonde. Okay, then we have Half of a Yellow Sun by Jamanda. It is important work. It is on the Nigerian Biafran War, focuses on love, war, trauma, and nationalism. Then we have Orhan Pamuk, who got Nobel Prize in 2006, and he was awarded for blending East and West culture, memory, and identity in Turkish history. So you should look at the work of Orhan Pamuk as well. Then we have The Inheritance of Laws by Kiran Desai. It's set in India and USA. The novel explores globalization, migration, and laws, and it got Man Booker Prize. Now, in 2007, first we have Doris Lessing. She got Nobel Prize. Okay, she was awarded for her exploration of feminism, psychology, and social injustice. And her works often critique on power structure and gender roles. Okay, so this is all about 2001 to 2007. 2008, in which we have Sea of Poppies by Amitav Ghosh. It is the first part of Ibis trilogy. This is the important work of Amitav Ghosh, Sea of Poppies in 2008. Then we have The River of Smoke. So you have to look at the works. It was set against the backdrop of opium trade and colonial India. Okay, and recently he is in news. So you should look at the work very thoroughly. And the key, and you will find the characters like Diti, Kalwa, okay, Neil, Ratan in this work. Now the next we have The White Tiger by Arvind Adiga. It got Booker Prize, satirical novel narrated by Balram Halwai. Okay, it is on corruption, class divide, and moral decay in modern India. Then we have Unaccustomed Earth by Jhumpa Lahiri, short story collection focusing on second generational Indian immigrants in the USA. Okay, in the same year we have A Mercy by Toni Morrison, PYQ. The setting is of 17th century America, and it examines slavery before race-based laws. And we have characters like Florence and Jacob Bach. Okay, now in 2009 we have Too Much Happiness by Alice Munro. Munro is known for his psychological realism, and this centered on women emotional lives, memory, and loss. Okay, so the title story fictionalized the life of Sophia, okay, a woman mathematician. Then we have The Book of Negroes by Lawrence Hill. It is narrated by Aminata Diallo, a former slave, travels from Africa to America and Nova Scotia, England. Okay, so these are the actually settings, and it explores slavery, freedom, and black history. Then we have Wolf Hall by Hilary Mantel, and it got Booker Prize. Okay, and this is the historical novel focuses on Thomas Cromwell, the advisor of Henry VIII at that time. So it reinterrupts power politics during the English Reformation, and it got Man Booker Prize. Okay. Then we have 2011 Indian After Gandhi by Ramchandra Guha. It is a major South Asian historical text, and it tells about the Indian journey after independence, and it covers Nehru, partition, democracy, caste, language, politics, and federalism. So you can say that it is considered as a foundational post-colonial history. Okay, and he got Sahitya Academy for this work. Now 2013 we have Americana by Chimamanda. The novel follows Ifmelu, the character, who is a Nigerian woman navigating race, identity, and immigration in America. And it is a strong critique on race, hair, politics, and global inequality. And in the same year, Alice Munro got Nobel Prize. 2014, we have Trying to Say Goodbye by Adil Juzwala. Okay, and it is a poetic work reflecting on death, loss, exile, and silence. And he is a key figure in Indian English poetry. Then in 2015, we have Chronicle of a Corpse Bearer by Cyrus Mystery, and it got Sahitya Academy Award. This is the novel about the Parsi community focusing on Khandia, that is corpse beer, explored death rituals, marginalization, and dignity of labor in Mumbai. Okay. Khandya means, you can say it means vultures consumes the remains. Okay, this is their in their Parsi ritual. Okay, then we have Hexseed by Margaret Atwood. It is the modern related. It is the modern story retelling the Shakespeare The Tempest. We have the character Felix Palliers Prospero, and she has used theatre in a prison to explore revenge, forgiveness, and creativity. Now, in 2017, the Kazuo Ishiguro got Nobel Prize and awarded for novels that explore memory, repression, emotional restraint. For example, Never Let Me Go and The Remains of the Day. Very important writer. Now, we have The Testament by Margaret Atwood. It is a sequel to Handmaid's Tale. PYQ है, and it is narrated by multiple female voices. It explores the internal collapse of Gilead authoritarian regime. Gilead was the setting in the Handmaid's Tale. Okay, and it got a Booker Prize, which is in sharing. Now, the next we have An Era of Darkness by Shashi Tharoor. It is a non-fiction critic of British colonial rule in India, and Shashi Tharoor is famous for his vocab. Okay, work explores economic drain, cultural destruction, and historical injustice. Okay, now in 2021 we have Things to Leave Behind by Namita Gokhale, because it got Sahitya Academy Award. It is a historical novel centered on women's voice during colonial India. We have education, reform, and gender consciousness in this work. Then we have Jungle Lama, Amitabh Ghosh, PYQ. It is a verse narrative responding to the Sundarban tiger incident. This is the main thing. And it blends folklore, ecology, and myth, highlighting human-animal conflict. In 2022, we have The Netanyahus by Joshua Conan. It got Pulitzer Prize. It is a satirical novel exploring Jewish identity, academia, and politics through a fictionalized visit of Benjamin Netanyahu's father. Okay, so you should know about this work. Then we have Tomb of Sand by Gitanjali Shri. It got International Booker Prize, and it was in, you can say, it was in news at that time. And it was translated from Hindi, that is Ret Samadhi, and it tells the story of 80-year-old widow rediscovering life challenges, patriarchy, borders, age, gender norms. Okay. In 2023, we have Smoke and Ashes, Opium Hidden Histories by Amitabh Ghosh, the important work. Okay, and this non-fiction work undiscovers the global history of opium trade, linking colonial capitalism, China, and British imperial power. It acts as historical companion to Ghosh Ibis trilogy. It reveals how opium shaped modern geopolitics. Okay, Women Raga Janki, written by Neelam Gaur. It is a contemporary Indian novels blending classical music, memory, and grief. Okay, it got Sahitya Academy Award. Then we have Firebird by Parimal Murugan. It is a powerful novel focusing on caste oppression, patriarchy, and moral conflict. 2024, we have Knife, Meditation After an Attempted Murder by Salman Rushdie. It is his memoir, reflecting on the 2022 knife attack on Rushdie. Okay, and this book explores free speech, survival, violence, and artistic resilience. And in the same year, we have another master book, or you can say memoir, The Hill of Enchantment, the story of my life as a writer. So you should know about the subtitle of famous works as well, by Ruskin Bond. It is an autobiographical work, and it traces his literary journey, childhood, and love for Himalayas. Okay, then in 2025 and the last year, okay, we have Dream Count by Chimanda. It is a contemporary novel examining love, ambition, feminism, and emotional choices, and this explores women's inner lives against global backdrops. Okay, in the same year we have The 11th Hour, a quintet of stories by Salman Rushdie. It is a short story collection engaging with time, identity, exile, and political anxiety. You can say that it is the trademark magical realism and satire, and used to reflect crisis movement and moral choices. Now, Flash by David. It got Booker Prize, and this novel examining male vulnerability and power, physical existence in the modern world. Okay, we got fragmented narrative style and psychological realism in this work, and it got Booker Prize. Now, The Mother Mary Comes to Me by Arundhati Roy. It is a memoir of Arundhati Roy, narrative blending of family, history, faith, you will find in this work. Then we have Wild Fictions, Essays by Amitabh Ghosh. It is a collection of essays addressing climate crisis. Know about the works that on what is exactly the theme. And Amitav Ghosh argues for new narrative forms to represent ecological catastrophe. So far as the environmentalism or environmental literature is concerned, this work is very important. Then we have The Loneliness of Sonia and Sunny by Anita Desai. And this novel is focused on emotional isolation, aging, and unfulfilled relationship. And this is Anita Desai hallmark psychological depth and lyrical prose drive the narrative. Then we have Heartland, the last work of our series by Banu Mushtaq. Okay, and it is translated into English by Deepa Bashti. It got International Booker Prize. It was originally written in Kannada language, and this book highlighting women's life, religious identity, and quit resistance. And the translation brings regional voice into global literary discourse, and that's why it got International Book Prize. Okay, and with this we complete the chronology from 1516 to 2025 in 4 videos. Okay, and in the next video we will focus exclusively on the last 3 years of PYQs, in which we are going to analyze how questions are framed and which author and text are repeatedly asked. And that video will be completely exam oriented and highly important for revision. So don't miss the next lecture, revise the chronology carefully and stay connected.